share my screen. There we go. So hopefully you can all see the screen in front of you. You can see the little presentation.
Yeah, it's there.
Yep, got it my end.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is just to take you through the kind of some of the features of the smart home range that you have from Link to Home, some of the features of the app, and then features of the range that you have set up as well. And then if we've got time, then I'll show you some live demos just whilst we're online as well, just to hopefully show you what I tell you is true as well, because obviously I'm going to tell you it's good, but I want to show you that it's good as well. So just delving straight into it. So Link to Home, as you would expect, we've got an app to go along with the products, Link to Home Pro, which is a free to download for iOS and for Android. And when we start talking about our products, we actually start talking about the app first as opposed to the product, because the app is a very important component of it. Because if you don't have a good app in the first instance, you don't have something to bring it all together, which is why we do mention it as a point of reference. So some of the features of the app that kind of help it stand out over and above the crowd and help users really kind of navigate through the smart product world is the first point we talk about is ease of setup. Product has got to be dead easy for everybody to use it. I think perhaps in the past it's maybe been a barrier for some people entering into the smart home market by not having products that are easy to use. So we tackle that in a couple of different ways through the app. One of the ways that we do it is that some of our devices, some of our plugs and lamps use a combination of two different technologies. They use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth technology, which means actually when you first of all get one of our products out of the box and you plug it in, as long as your Bluetooth is turned on your device, whether that be Android or iOS, the device first of all connects through a Bluetooth, which means actually when you open up the app, you get a push notification like you can see on the screen here. This is a pop-up where the app says it's found a new product and asks you if you want to add it. And you just simply say, yes, I want to add it. You enter in your Wi-Fi password, which you only ever have to do the first time you set up a device. And then that's it. That device is then set up, and it can be as quick as around about 10 seconds. Depends on how quickly you can type. Setting up video products is again fairly straightforward as well. We do have some online videos on our website that guides people through the process, albeit I think it's fairly intuitive. You get some on-screen instructions that guide you through the setup process with scanning QR codes and things like that. And video devices generally take around about 30 seconds to set up. So hopefully that's a fairly straightforward setup for most people. Some of the other features of the app which help it stand out and it's worth noting is things like home and member management. So if you've got multiple sites or multiple offices or multiple homes that you wanted to set up, you can do that under one sign-in, and you can set up multiple locations and then you can switch between them seamlessly just by choosing it through a drop-down button. You can also then invite other users into your environment as well. So say you've set up some devices at home, a couple of doorbells, maybe some cameras, some lighting. You don't want to then go and set it up on your partner's phone or anybody else within the household. And so you can just invite those users into your environment so that you can share said devices with them as well. So if you've got things like a doorbell, when somebody rings the doorbell, it will ring on every device that you've shared it with. And then once one person's answered it, you obviously can't then answer it from another device. So if you're in a meeting and you can't answer it, don't worry, because it's going to ring on somebody else's phone as well. All the other users need to do is just be registered for a free Link to Home Pro app account, and then you can just invite them in. And you can choose what type of access they have to devices, whether they're an administrator so they can change settings, or whether they are just a user so they can only use and see devices. Some of the other features of the app, which is very powerful and it's worth noting, is the automation features. Automation is really kind of where we think smart home is heading, and it's really only when you start adding multiple devices into your environment that the smart features start to come to fruition. We have a couple of automation features in the app. One of them we call Tap to Run. So Tap to Run is about creating quick one-touch shortcuts to a series of events. So if you imagine an environment where you've got doorbells, cameras set up, lots of lighting and things like that, you might have a long list of devices to navigate through. I myself at home, I've got around about 60 devices set up around the home. As you can appreciate, being from Link to Home, I'm going to have a lot of them, but most of my products are lamps as well. So most of my lighting in my house now is all fully automated. So rather than navigating through all of those 60 devices to find the one I want, I set up a couple of tap to run events for a quick touch shortcuts to certain features. One that I've got on the screen there that you can see in the top right hand corner is called Secure Perimeter. Everybody, generally speaking, is working from home at the moment, so the last thing you generally want is when the postman's coming on the driveway, your motion sensors going off every 5 minutes. So I turn them off during the day when I'm at home, but then when I leave the home, I just press that button that says Secure Perimeter, and it turns on all my motion and sound sensors of all my camera devices, which then means I get the alerts. But you can set up these tap to run events for any type of automation feature that you want to set them up for. Really, it's down to individual taste and your imagination as to what you want to set up these tap to run events for. If you take that a stage further, we then have automation features. So this is where you can get devices to trigger based on an external trigger. So it requires absolutely no manual intervention like the tap to runs. And external triggers are then split down into 4 further subcategories as well. The first one of which we call inter-device synchronization. So that's getting one device feature to activate when another device feature status has changed. An example might be, say you've got a lamp installed in downstairs bedroom and you've got a camera outside. You could set up an automation feature that says if that camera detects motion between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., turn on a bedroom light, which is great as a security led feature, because I think most people who are looking to burglarize or anything like that in the UK, generally speaking, they're opportunists. So if you make a bit of noise or turn on a bit of light, it scares a lot of people off. So that inter-device synchronization can be good for that feature, but it can also be good, say you're arriving home late at night, you pull onto the driveway, camera detects you that you're there, and then it turns on all of your lighting inside for you as well. The other automation triggers are then split down into 2 further subcategories, which we call weather and location. So location is where you can get certain devices to change based on the location of your app. And you can set device triggers based on either entering or leaving a specific location. One example might be where I live in a little village where I've got no street lights or anything like that. So when I get home in the evenings, it's pretty dark. So I have a feature set up under the automation feature that says when I arrive within 500 meters of the house, turn on the floodlight so that the driveway's lit and I can actually see where I'm going. But you can flip that and you can turn it the other way around as well. If you imagine most households, they're pretty chaotic in the morning, everybody getting out of the house to go to work, get the kids to school. And as you leave the house, you might be worried that TVs have been left on, lights have been left on, hair straighteners, anything like that. And so you could set up an automation feature that says when I leave this location, turn off all these sockets, turn off all of these lights. And so then you know that everything is safe. And again, similar to location, you can also use weather as a trigger. And under weather, you can link changes with temperature, humidity, sunrise, sunset, and wind speed. And then the final trigger is then based on setting triggers at certain times of the day. So the more devices that you add to your Link to Home environment, the more important these automation features become. But it's just worth noting because it does make the app and the products themselves very powerful. It's not just turning your lights on and off from your phone or asking your smart speaker to do it for you. It's about automating your environments so that stuff happens seamlessly for you. The other feature worth noting on all of our camera devices is the alarm settings and event recording. Every camera device that we have features motion and sound detection. And whenever motion or sound detection is alerted, the device itself will capture a snapshot. So a little picture of whatever has triggered that motion. And that snapshot is then stored in the app's memory. So you can access that from anywhere. You don't need to be on the same Wi-Fi network or anywhere near your device. You just need to be able to open up the app, and your device obviously has to be connected to your Wi-Fi wherever you've installed it. But then you get a little snapshot of what has caused that event to occur. If you take that a stage further with all of our devices, you can also put in a micro SD card. When you have that micro SD card installed, every time motion or sound is detected, it will record a 30 to 60-second video with sound. And again, you can access that video from anywhere you like. It's worth noting that both of those features there are included absolutely free of charge with the app. You don't need to pay any additional purchase towards that. We do take that a stage further, and we do then offer a cloud subscription based service where you can have your video recorded and backed up to the cloud. Benefit of that being that you can access that footage from anywhere and from any device as well, and then it is backed up into the cloud. And our cloud storage options start at around about £2.99 a month, and then go up from there depending upon how many devices you want to add and how long you want that data to remain in the cloud. Everything and all the devices that we do are all compatible with Alexa and all compatible with Google. So if you've got any of your smart speakers, you can use them to control your sockets, control your lightings, change the colors of your lighting, change the temperatures, dim up, dim down. And if you've got any of your smart speaker devices as well with a screen, you can also access your video feeds from any of your camera devices as well. So if somebody rings the doorbell, you can answer it through your smart speaker device and communicate with whoever is at your front door as well. In terms of the range that we've set up initially within Kellaway, this just gives you an idea of the products that are coming in first and foremost. First one of which is an indoor camera. All of the cameras all share the same kind of background of product features. So we'll focus on this one a little bit more, and then you know that the features apply to the rest of the camera range as well. As I mentioned previously, everything features sound and motion detection. So you get all of those alerts, and it obviously sends an alert through to the app, and then you get that snapshot or that video recorded event as well. Everything features two-way audio, so you can speak and you can also listen into any environment. And you've also got crystal clear night vision as well, which gives you real clarity. Night vision is most popular for these products because of security-led application. The particular one that you can see on the screen there is a pan and tilt camera. So that is an internal device, but then when you have the screen up on the app, you can then move that camera through the app as well itself. So you can move it around in a complete cycle of 355 degrees, and you can also tilt it 75 degrees in either direction as well. As I said before, it works with Alexa and it also works with Google. That little QR code on the screen there, if any of you have got a phone on you, if you take that phone and point your camera lens at that QR code, what you'll actually get is a pop-up which will come up in your top hand corner, and then that will play you a little 30 to 60-second video of that product. And then from said same link, you can also download data sheets as well. So you'll see QR codes throughout the presentation as well. So more than happy to share the presentation with you afterwards so you can access those. But these are the same QR codes that are also on the point of sale that you might see in your Kellaway branches as well. So again, if you scan those QR codes, you can see little product videos, and you can also download data sheets from said environment as well. This is then the outdoor version of the previous mentioned product. So very similar product features to the previous product, other than this one is built for outdoors, so is weatherproof as you would expect. This one also comes with a 16 gigabyte memory card built into the device. We build it in with this one because it is a weather sealed unit, and getting at the memory card requires some screwdrivers and a couple of tools, because the memory card is installed inside the device just here where I'm pointing my mouse, just above the Link to Home logo. So with a 16 gigabyte memory card in there, that is enough for 48 hours continuous footage. Because when you have a micro SD card in any of the devices, you can either ask the device to record 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or you can ask it to event record. I prefer to set up the devices to event record, and then you get a timeline of events, and then you can see when motion is being triggered and at what time of the morning. Because in reality, you're only ever going to review your footage on your camera devices if you think something's happened. And if you've got 24 hours of footage to go back through, it can be quite tricky to find whatever it is that you're looking for. So the event and event recording is a much better way of navigating through your footage. But if you did want continuous, like I say, 16 gigs is enough for around about 48 hours recording. So that means every 24-hour period takes up around about 7 to 8 gigs. The maximum size card that you can put in any of the devices is 128 gigabytes, which would probably be worth around about 2 weeks of continuous footage. This one is also pan and tilt like the previous mentioned one as well. So when you have your video feed up on the screen, you can move the camera around in a complete cycle of 355 degrees, and you can pan from -10 to +75 as well. You then have the doorbell as well. So the doorbell operates hopefully as you would expect a doorbell to operate once you've set it up. When somebody presses that doorbell button, it will send an alert through to your phone, much like it was a phone call. You tap on the alert and then you go straight through to the video live feed where you have full duplex audio, meaning that you can have a live conversation with somebody much like we are now. So you can speak and listen at the same time. But note, the doorbell still has motion and sound detection as well. So you're also going to get an alert regardless of if somebody rings the doorbell or not, which is quite a good feature, because if somebody comes to your door and they don't ring the doorbell, you probably want to know why they haven't rang the doorbell. The one that you can see on the screen is our battery powered camera. Battery is said to last around about 3 months based on 10 activations per day. And this is the device that we've also put into the prize draw with Kellaway, which is going to be drawn, I believe, at the end of the day today as well. So you could be in with a shout to win one of our Link to Home battery doorbells as well. To go with the battery doorbell, we then have a separate door chime as well. The units themselves, the doorbells, they do emit their own doorbell chime, but that is exterior to the house. So if you don't have your phone on you and you're somewhere else in the house, it's nice to have that additional bell chime so that it makes a tone much like a conventional doorbell would, and you can hear that from wherever you are within inside your house. You can choose your melody on it as well, and you can choose the volume, and it's fairly loud as well at 120 decibels, so you should be able to hear that from wherever you are inside your home. And it's powered by USB, so it just plugs into any USB outlet that you might have in and around the home. The other devices that we then have set up with a Kellaway range is a smart plug. So the smart plug is a plug-through device. So you plug this in to a socket outlet, and then you plug in whatever device it is you want to control into the front of it there as well. Important thing to note about the smart plug from Link to Home is the fact that it is full 13 amp switching capacity, which means you can use it to turn on any single device that you might want to plug into it, because it will run at 13 amps. It's not the same with every single smart plug that's on the market, so it's important to note if you are doing any comparisons, the differences between them. Using the smart plug, you can obviously turn it on and off from anywhere in the world. You can set up timers, you can set up countdowns, and it's great for that inter-device synchronization that I spoke about as well. And remember, the smart plug also has that Bluetooth connectivity as well, which means that setup and the product is very, very easy as well. Final device then that we have set up as part of the Kellaway range is one of our frosted lamp ranges. So this is a bayonet cap lamp. So it is probably the most popular fitting that we do right now. Obviously, the UK is mainly based towards a bayonet cap fitting. This is what we call a frosted lamp, and this will dim from 1% up to 100%. It allows you to change the color temperature from a warm 2700 Kelvin all the way up to a cool 6500 Kelvin, and also choose any color that you want under the sun. So it's a very versatile lamp as a single standalone product as well. So with the colors, you can choose any one of 16 million different colors. And when you have the app and you have the product installed, you can also choose various different scene modes, including like colorful modes, where the lamps will beat to different times, and it will change colors as well. So you can set up like a mini disco at home. This would be equivalent to your 60-watt incandescent lamp. So this is 800 lumen. So this is designed to replace existing light fixtures, and a great all-round bulb, because it will cater for pretty much any need that you might have, with the feature set being dimmable, warm white, cool white, and then also all of your different colors as well. In terms of the packaging that you might see in branches, this is what it looks like. Again, you've got QR codes and things on the box to help you download the app as well, and then you do get a set of instructions within the box to just guide you through and help you set up the products. And then this is an image here on the left hand side that you might see at a point of sale in your Kellaway branches. And again, you can just see the QR codes on there next to all the different products that we do as well. So if you want to explore further ranges, you can do that. And if you scan any of those QR codes, then that will take you through to a product video where you can just see some of the features explained, and you can also download data sheets as well. A couple of slides that I've just put into here because I think it's quite relevant for now is smart home devices recently have been featured on BBC and on ITV because of potential data risks to devices. And so I thought I'd just put a couple of slides in there about data security of devices. It's important to note that obviously we take security very, very seriously, and we apply lots of different data securities when we obviously collect end user information and you have smart devices set up. We use a lot of encryption methods and a lot of isolation on networks. That means that devices essentially cannot be hacked, touch wood. We have never ever had any of our devices hacked, which is a great accolade to have. But it's the importance of buying into a brand when you're considering smart home devices. Normally, if something's cheap, it's cheap for a reason. And when you consider smart home, it might not have a very good app, or it might not have that data security. So I think it's important to note that, just to give peace of mind to end users or anybody using it for themselves, that you do have that security within your devices. And it's also endorsed by a couple of GDPR compliance agencies and also by Kaspersky as well. Kaspersky being one of the world's largest providers of internet security product. And we have endorsement from them for all of our devices because of the security-led features on it. So I believe that was important to mention that for now. So that was just a quick whistle-stop tour of some of the products that we have set up at the moment. If you've got a bit more time, I can just show you a couple of demos if that's useful to you at all. Aideen, would that be useful if I show you a couple of different product setups?
Yeah, I'd like to see them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. To do the best, see how we can do this. So this is my app set up right now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off my virtual background so that you can see the device a little bit more. So this is my app that I have set up right now. This is then a smart plug as well. So I have a socket outlet here, and what we should hopefully be able to see is, as I plug that in to the plug socket, what will happen is on screen in a moment. Bear with me. Hang on, I haven't switched on the extension lead. Bear with me. Let me set up a doorbell first. I'll show you that. So that's a battery doorbell. So that's got some charge in it. So to set up a battery doorbell, what I do is I open up the app here and I go to add device. What you can actually see at the bottom there, now I've just powered on the extension lead. You can't see it terribly well, but that's a pop-up of the smart plug telling me it's just also found the smart plug. So I just press go to add.
Seeing any of your stuff?
Say again?
I'm not seeing any of your what you're showing at the moment. I just got one blank.
Oh, okay. You should be able to see a video of me holding up my phone.
No, not at the moment.
Your shared screen is still coming up as well, so whether it's that in the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Is that better? Well, I don't know if it's better because it means you've got to look at me. But yeah. So yeah, apologies for that then. All right, let me start again. So what I've got there is my app screen. So if you want to add devices, and again, you can see these videos on our website as well, linktohome.co.uk. I've got my smart doorbell there. When you take it out of the box, that's what you'll see is a flashing red light around the button press there to tell you that the product's ready to be synced. So to add said product, what I do on the app is I say add device. I then have a long list of all the different products that we sell, and down here I've got an option that says video surveillance, and I choose smart doorbell. And the on-screen instructions there say to you, make sure that the device is flashing. You say yes, it's flashing. It then gives you your Wi-Fi settings, and you confirm that the password is correct. And then what it's telling you is hold the device 15 to 20 centimeters away from the screen and scan the QR code. And what you're listening for is a tone from the doorbell. So let's do that. So did you hear the tone? So what you then get is the device options is then set up, and you can change the name of the device, and you can choose it whatever room that you want to install it in as well. If you do want to set up any of your other devices as well, things like the smart plug, as I mentioned, the smart plug features that Bluetooth technology. So what happens with a smart plug, if I just take a smart plug and I plug that in to a socket outlet, is, depending on the strength of your Wi-Fi signal at home, is we'll get a little pop-up on the screen, which you did see just a moment ago, tell me that it's found a new device as well. So there you go. So you can see a pop-up that's come up on the bottom of the screen there to tell me that it's found a new device. So I click go to add, I say yes, add the smart plug again, you confirm your Wi-Fi settings, and then it goes through a little setup process, and depending upon the strength of your Wi-Fi signal will depend on how quick that setup process is of any single device as well. But setup generally takes between 10 seconds to 30 seconds depending upon the strength of your Wi-Fi signal. It's important to note that with obviously any of your Wi-Fi products, that the products are only going to be as good as your Wi-Fi signal. You can't see it terribly well on the screen there, but that is now added that device. I press done, and then I get a little screen there where I can turn that socket on and off. So it's as simple as that for setting up the product. So fairly straightforward. Did you have any questions at all about any of the products or any of the ranges or the app or anything?
Do you do the spotlights as well? Like dimmable spotlights and whatnot?
We do, yeah. So as part of the lamp range in Kellaway right now is the B22, but we do also do an E27, an E14 and a GU10 in the frosted range. We also do a 5-meter LED light strip as well. And we also do a range of filament lamps. So everything's stocked at Toolbank. So a Kellaway branch can get it next day. Everything is in stock right now. So yeah, if you've got interest in other products, then yeah, of course we can send you through some detail of that as well, but it's all available on the next day.
So with the camera system, how many cameras can your app support? So say for example, I've got a new build I'm doing, and it's commercial, so like semi-commercial is a mix. How many units can that app support, and are most of them hardwired or most of them battery operated?
So our actual camera devices are all hardwired. So they all have a 13-amp plug on them, and you can plug them into a 24-volt transformer as well if you did want to hardwire them. As far as I'm aware, there's not a limit to the amount of camera devices that you can set up on a single user login. Are you coming at it from the angle of kind of site security or camera devices for individual users?
No, so this is basically to secure new premises I'm building downstairs. Like, so I want to see who comes in the front entrance, so I'd have a Ring doorbell there. Then at the back of the house there, or the back of the building, is like a preschool. We have a lot of children that come in. So it's about securing them and securing us who work there and whatnot. So I think at the moment we've planned. So I've hardwired into the building at the moment for I think 6 cameras at least downstairs. And 1 outdoor camera, 2 outdoor cameras, and two Ring doorbell systems.
Yeah, that's not going to be an issue at all.
Sorry?
Yeah. That's not going to be an issue at all. I thought you were talking hundreds of units. But yeah, certainly, yeah, that's absolutely fine. If I consider my own environment at home, as you would expect, I've got a lot of cameras around the place. If somebody comes on my house, I know about it, and I think I've got 6 devices set up around the home. And if you do that, you probably can't see it terribly well on screen here, but I'm just going to switch between my environments here. So I'm on a demo environment at the moment, so I'm actually switching back to my house. And what I actually have in the top right hand corner here is a little camera icon. And if I switch on that camera icon, I then get a live video feed of all of my different cameras all in one space. So I've got 4 camera devices there. And then if I scroll, I've then got another 2 camera devices as well. And so I can see the video feed coming through from all of my different cameras all in one place. So you can see I've got 6 cameras set up there. And if you want to go through and you want to look at any of them in a bit more detail, you can just double click on the device and you can open it up as well. And then that's one of the pan and tilt versions. So you can't see the screen terribly well there, but that's my front room. And then using that little control wheel at the bottom there, I can then move that camera device itself around as well.
And they're all two-way speaking as well, did you say? For all of them?
So with the camera devices, they speak and listen. So there's like a microphone button on there just to eliminate feedback that you get. The doorbells are full duplex audio.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
One device that might be useful for you to have a look at would be our floodlight camera as well. It's a great all-round device. It's 2000 lumens, so it's a great light output, has the camera on it, so it has all the same features that we've already spoke about with the rest of the camera range, and it all built-in siren as well, so you can activate on it 125 decibel siren, which again just activates as a great security deterrent.
The neighbours will love that one then.
Yeah, they love it when I'm doing demos as well, and I keep turning my siren on my floodlight on and off.
Yeah. Oh well, no, that's brilliant. I'm really interested in it. You know, obviously at the moment you've got Ring, they're campaigning all the time, aren't they, on radio and TV? And I'm getting fed up of listening to it, to be honest. But
yeah, they are. Yeah,
you and a different product, really. And I know that Callaway is stocking it, so I am very interested because I've got a kit out the new build I'm doing. So yeah, really good presentation. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, one of the notable differences between the product that we have and the Ring product is those local storage options you have when events occur. So that snapshot recording and that local video recording to a micro SD card. Yes, we have a cloud service like Ring, but Ring really force the end user into subscribing to that cloud if they want any of those security-led devices, which ultimately that's why we're buying camera devices, is for security. So people are going to want those. But to force the end user, I think, into it is sometimes maybe a little bit misleading in terms of the retail price point. Yeah. So at least it's an option, but you still have local options as well with the link to home.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you think of any other questions that you want to ask us, then obviously you can go back to Callaway or via Toolbank, or you can send any queries through to ourselves as well. If you go to our website, linktohome.co.uk, you'll find a lot of product information on there as well, and product videos, and then you can contact us through that as well should you have any more queries.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks so much. Enjoyed that.
All right, no problem.
Hey, Dean.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean. Just a quick one. I can see you're obviously based Bridgewater way, aren't you? So I'm guessing Bridgewater is your local branch, yeah?
That's correct, yeah.
Perfect. I mean, I'm based in the Callaway branch in Bristol, Lockleys, obviously. So if you do have any questions, then feel free to come through to us, obviously. But obviously, you know, if you're more comfortable dealing with Bridgewater, then great. But obviously, if you need some support or you can't get some answers, by all means, come back to me and I'll happily help and speak to the guys on the call as well.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your attendance. I really appreciate it. I mean, I've learned a lot from it myself, to be honest. So I've definitely got a 12-year-old at home that needs the radius, and when he walks away from the house, everything turns off. So I've learned a lot from it. So thank you.
Yeah, that's brilliant. All right, thanks so much, then. Cheers, then.
No worries, Eddie. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Guys, thanks so much.